Hey, what's going on, guys? I just got done being a guest on this incredible podcast. It went so well. I'm really excited for you guys to check it out at the end of this week. And it was just some really good conversation on there and just some great ideas being tossed back and forth. And I'm just really genuinely looking forward to you guys having a chance to check it out. And um, I'm just really in a great place right now, man, with regards to things going on in my life. The fact that I have a really nice sweater on right now. It's just a good thing all around. It's just a good thing. Hope you guys are having a good night, and I will talk to you guys soon. Later. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you guys are all having a great day. Man, all right. So today's Friday, and for those of you who have been with me through this KAL experience journey so far, you know that I put these episodes out every Thursday. And this week I wasn't able to put out an episode, and I just wanted to kind of walk you guys through a pretty crazy experience that happened to me this week. Something that I'm sure I'll never forget, and something that I've never actually experienced before either. So, just to kind of set the stage, several weeks ago, about a month and a half ago, a friend of mine reached out to me and said I might want to reach out to one of her friends who recently started a podcast. And she just saw some of the stuff that I was doing. I probably was on episode 4 or 5 at the time. And she just said, you guys might want to connect. So I reached out. I checked the guys, Instagram. That's what we do nowadays. We'll see what someone's all about based off of their Instagram. So I did my little background check, so to speak. And this guy looked like awesome dude and someone who had a really, really professional. That's what jumped out at me, a professional setup on his first. I think he had one podcast up at the time. It was a video podcast. And I was excited. I said, let me reach out. So I did, and I'm sure he did the same thing. Checked me out, checked my Instagram, all that good stuff. And we put a date on the calendar, and that date was this past Sunday. So it was, like I said, about a month or a month and a half ago. I had the date ready to go and drove out there, recorded the podcast. I'm going to put a link to that video on Harris's YouTube channel that he posted just this morning, I think, actually. He actually posted the video. I didn't get a chance to watch the entire thing yet, but from what I've seen so far, I think it came out really, really good. And my number one fan, my mom, called me and said she watched the whole, it was an hour and 50 minutes, I think. So she watched the whole thing, and she said she really enjoyed it. So I could always count on her on that one. But yeah, so recorded the podcast, had a great time meeting Harris for the first time. We kind of were moving in the same direction, I think, with our lives, and basically wanting to use our creativity and our gifts and skill sets to kind of brand ourselves a certain way, and get people's stories out there. That's his thing, and my thing is get my story out there for the first season of my show. And the second season of my show is going to be more about you guys getting your story out there. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, so we recorded the episode, and then we probably hung out and talked for another maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes or so, just about some other really interesting things. He had some ideas for me about my tutoring and stuff. I had some ideas for him, and it was just all good vibes. So got in my car, and I was like, let me just record a quick Instagram story, because I really wanted to share this with you guys. I wanted to share this sort of experience in the moment, and I also wanted you guys to know to kind of look out for this interesting thing that we have in the works coming out by the end of the week. And so I did, record it myself, and then I looked at it. I stayed in the car for maybe like 10 minutes. I was like, recording it, and then I looked and I saw and I'm going to play the video here too, but I saw like one of my my mustache here was a little bit not trimmed there, and you can kind of see it. And I said, all right, I'm not going to post this right now. Let me just get home. Maybe I'll brush it up a little bit and then, record when I get home. All right, so driving home, called my wife first thing, told her how excited I was about how everything came out, and that I was hungry. So I asked her if she wanted anything from Wendy's, because I was planning on stopping there. about 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes from my house. There's a Wendy's on Easton Ave, and she, put her order in. I went there, picked up my food, and put the food in the car, started driving off. That was 9:14 that I called my wife. And then I'm driving home. So I'm on Easton Avenue, which is 2 streets from my house. I have to make a left turn to get towards my house from Easton Ave. So I drove up, and at this left turn signal, I was at a red light. So I'm sitting there. There's a car right in front of me. And then it happened. Sitting there, and just out of nowhere, a car slammed into the back of my car. And I don't think I blacked out, because I kind of remember, I feel like I remember what happened and everything. I just remember the moment the impact happened. It was the first time that I've ever been in an accident before. So I was just in shock. I was in shock in that moment, because as hard as the car hit me from the back, my airbag went off in the front, and my car automatically started making a call, some emergency call or something, I guess, for their safety feature. I have a Honda Accord, and I just heard ringing, dialing, and I just started smelling, something that was not, one of the fluids or something from the car. So I get myself out of the car. I'm just like shaken up. I'm looking to the right of me. I see that there's a car right up against the right side of the passenger side. I get out of the car, and I'm looking at my car, and I'm like assessing my body to see how I feel. I'm still in shock, so I don't think I really felt anything too crazy, I guess, in that moment. So I'm talking to the car right next to me. I'm like, hey, are you guys okay? Like, what happened? Do you guys have a phone? Call the police. And he's saying the same to me. He's like, we can't find our phone in the car. Do you have a phone? So I'm like, I'm not sure. So we basically both just walked to the side of the road, and then we saw the third car, which is a little away from us, and this car is in even worse condition, and there's a kid on the floor outside of the third car. And when I say kid, I mean there was someone younger than me, I guess, right, on the floor. So my immediate first thought is that someone got ejected from that car. I still don't know if that's exactly what happened. I think, kind of circling back, someone could have certainly been ejected as fast as I feel the car was going, but also someone could have just kind of rolled out of the car and being injured, and then just sat on the floor or something like that. So I'm not exactly sure, what happened, but immediately within 2 minutes, the police were there, ambulance were there. They just kind of, I don't know exactly how they got notified, but they were there, and just like in an instant. So, I asked them if I can go back to my car to get my phone to call my wife, and that's when I start feeling the pain. I feel some pain in my neck, which is certainly still there, as this accident only happened a few days ago. I feel some pain in my rib and some pain on the left side of my knee, of my left knee. And called my wife, and I mentioned that I called her initially at 9:14, and now it's 9:20 that I'm calling her. And of course, I'm just, Jess, don't worry, everything is okay, but I was in an accident, but I'm okay. And, it was only 3 minutes away, so she just hopped in her car right away and came over. And I just remember embracing her. When I held her, I was shaking and trembling just in that moment. I never really experienced anything like it before. And I was thinking of her. I was thinking of my family. I was thinking of my friends. I was thinking, God forbid, if this accident it was already really bad, as my car most likely is totaled. I'm still waiting to get some information back on that. But in terms of me, could have been so much worse. And I'm just so grateful that I'm still here, and that I'm going to be okay. I expect to make a full recovery and everything from the incident. So we ended up getting in the ambulance. They ended up doing like a inspection, a check on me and everything, and went to the hospital. And Jess obviously rode it. Well, not obviously, but Jess rode in the ambulance. Sister-in-law, Ashley and Matt, came up to the hospital because my wife's car was back here, so they came out This is late night. This is like now probably 11 o'clock or something. So it was, definitely good to have them there to kind of, provide some relief, seeing some familiar faces and stuff like that. And Matt helped me down with the trail mix. Good looks, Matt, on the trail mix there from the vending machine. But you didn't get Ashley the chips, though, and I think she's still probably pretty mad at you for that. Yeah, so I got some X-rays, not MRIs, X-rays and CAT scans, and everything thankfully came back negative, and that's how it went. So now, just figuring everything out with the car. Went to go look at the car, and saw some pictures of how bad it was, and like I said, I'm just really, really grateful. God is good, and He really looked over me in this instance. And I think that, just to reflect on it a little bit, things have been going in a way in my life recently where I've been kind of just really feeling great about, my professional career, my personal life, this thing that I'm doing here, my music. So things have really, really been going well. And there's certain aspects of my life that kind of took the back burner. This was a wake-up call for me to make sure that important things in my life don't take the back burner, because they need to be in the forefront, and everything else needs to be secondary to that. So I think those of you who understand what I'm saying, can probably hopefully relate and kind of understand where I'm going at with that. But I just wanted to come on here, and last week was episode 9. This was supposed to be episode 10, but this is episode 9.5. So I'm just going to put this out just as an update to everyone about what happened, and just to say that I'm okay, thank God. And, I appreciate everyone reaching out to me and checking in. There's been just an outpouring of love and support, and I love you all, and I really appreciate all of that. And yeah, that's where we're going to leave it. Like I said, the podcast that I did record went so well. And so for this week, in addition to this update, I want you guys to, I would love for you guys to take a look at the podcast I was on the other day. And I'll put the link for that right in the description below. And make sure you guys are here next week, because I have something really cool planned for the 10th episode of my show. All right. I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for joining. And stay safe. Stay safe. Make sure those hands are washed. And I didn't talk at all about everything else going on in the world right now, which is crazy. But I think there's a lot of information about that going on out there. So I just wanted this episode to just be about that recent experience with me. But I'm sure there'll be some more to talk about with regards to what's going on in the world right now in a future episode. All right, so have a great week or great weekend, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.